The men were dying, not all at once, slowly, one frozen breath at a time. The Antarctic night had swallowed the world. There were no trees, no animals, no sounds except the screaming wind and the groaning of ice powerful enough to crush a ship. And it already had. Months earlier, Ernest Shackleton and his crew watched in horror as the Endurance was slowly squeezed to death by the frozen sea. The timbers snapped like gunshots. The deck twisted. The ship that was supposed to carry them home disappeared beneath the ice. 28 men stood in silence. They were trapped at the bottom of the world. No radio, no rescue, no way home. Only thousands of miles of ice and an ocean that could kill them in minutes. That night, one sailor quietly pulled a photograph of his wife from his pocket. He stared at it for a long time. Then he began to cry. Not because he was afraid, because he knew he would never see her again. One by one, the men began losing hope. Frostbite blackened fingers. Starvation hollowed their faces. Their beards froze into solid blocks of ice. Some woke up screaming from nightmares. Others stared into the darkness without speaking for hours. The Antarctic had become a graveyard, waiting for bodies. Yet somehow, Shackleton kept them moving. One more day, he would tell them. Just one more day. Then came the crossing, the most dangerous part of the journey. Shackleton and two companions set out across the mountains of South Georgia Island, a place no human had ever crossed. The storm arrived without warning. The wind hit them like a freight train. Snow filled their mouths. Ice coated their eyelashes. The darkness became so thick they could barely see each other. Hours passed, then more hours. Their legs began to fail. Their minds started drifting. One wrong step would send them tumbling into a crevasse where no one would ever find them. Death felt close, very close. One of the men later admitted he had stopped thinking about survival. He was simply waiting to collapse. Then something happened, something none of them could explain. As they staggered through the blizzard, all three men suddenly became aware of another presence. Someone was walking beside them, not behind them, not ahead of them. Beside them, a fourth person. They couldn't see him, but they could feel him. The strange companion seemed as real as the ice beneath their boots. Whenever one of them felt ready to give up, strength somehow returned. Whenever fear threatened to overwhelm them, an unexplainable peace settled over them. The invisible traveler never spoke. Yet somehow his presence said, "Keep going, don't stop. You're going to make it." The men continued through the storm, hour after hour, mountain after mountain, against every law of nature, against every human expectation, against every possibility. At last, they reached safety. Months later, after every crew member had been rescued alive, Shackleton finally spoke about the experience, carefully, almost reluctantly. He admitted that during the worst part of the crossing, he had been certain there was another person with them. Then one of the other men looked at him. His face turned pale. "I thought I was the only one." The third man nodded. He had felt it too. None of them had mentioned it during the crossing, yet all three described the same thing: a fourth traveler, an unseen companion walking through the storm. To this day, historians debate what happened. Exhaustion, hallucination, psychological stress, perhaps. But the men who lived through it never forgot. Because in the coldest place on Earth, when death was only a few steps away, when hope had frozen solid, they were certain of one thing: someone walked with them through the darkness, and without that presence, they may never have come home. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Psalm 23:4.